Israel actually plans to exterminate the entire Arab Muslim population of the world. And the Muslims know this. And this is why their jihadism and their excesses have some basis in reality. They're trying to survive because they know that Israel simply is interested only in genocide and exterminating all the Arab people, bringing them under complete domination. And the Israelis are always exterminationists.
The United States being used by Israel to creating a Christian-Muslim war?
Yes, that's all deliberate. See, there is no Christian-Muslim war. Now, I have filed legal papers in this town here before, in a law case that I have going on, in which I state frankly that 1 billion Christians and 1 billion Muslims are now at a war to the death with each other, and the only victor will be the state of Israel, because Israel is getting rid of all of its rivals and all of its competitors at one fell swoop. It's a brilliant move, and it's also totally calculated and ruthless.
Is the real enemy Israel?
Yeah. Our Zionism, world Zionism. The state of Israel is nothing. It never has been anything. It's the tiniest state in the world, yet this is the most important state in the world. It's the most important state to the entire United States government because they put the interests of Israel before every other consideration, including the United States.
Fox News correspondent Carl Cameron has details in the first of a 4-part series.
Since September 11th, more than 60 Israelis have been arrested or detained, either under the new Patriot anti-terrorism law or for immigration violations. A handful of active Israeli military were among those detained, according to investigators, who say some of the detainees also failed polygraph questions when asked about alleged surveillance activities against and in the United States. A highly placed investigator said there are, quote, tie-ins, but when asked for details, he flatly refused to describe them, saying, quote, evidence linking these Israelis to 911 is classified. I cannot tell you about evidence that has been gathered. It's classified information. Numerous classified documents obtained by Fox News indicate that even prior to September 11th, as many as 140 other Israelis had been detained or arrested in a secretive and sprawling investigation into suspected espionage by Israelis in the United States. Investigators from numerous government agencies are part of a working group that's been compiling evidence since the mid-90s. These documents detail hundreds of incidents in cities and towns across the country that investigators say, quote, may well be an organized intelligence gathering activity. Documents say they, quote, targeted and penetrated military bases, the DEA, FBI, and dozens of other government facilities, and even secret offices and unlisted private homes of law enforcement and intelligence personnel. The majority of those questioned, quote, stated they served in military intelligence, electronic surveillance intercept, and or explosive ordnance units. The majority of those questioned, quote, stated they served in military intelligence, electronic surveillance intercept, and or explosive ordnance units.
Later in 1967, an act of war against the United States occurred when the Zionist army attacked the near-defenseless ship USS Liberty. Incredible damage to the ship occurred, and the Zionists murdered many people aboard it. James Enns, who had been aboard the ship at the time, wrote the book Assault on the Liberty that described this. At the time, Israel was attacking Egypt and probably wanted it to appear as if Egypt had committed the deed to get America to side with Israel in its war. When the Israeli warplanes could not sink the USS Liberty, the Zionists brought in torpedo boats, blasting a 40-foot wide hole in the side. Crew members of the USS Liberty who sought to escape on lifeboats were either machine gunned down or napalmed. The attack lasted for hours. President Lyndon Johnson, who had received much Zionist campaign support, intentionally neglected backup for the USS Liberty. Afterwards, a massive cover-up occurred by the U.S. government to hide the truth concerning this incident from its citizens. However, former Congressman Paul Finley notes in his book, They Dared to Speak Out, that this was indeed a pre-planned attack against America's ship, which was in international waters and had its flag flying high. And, since retiring, former CIA Director Richard Helms and former NSA Director General Marshall Carter have also gone on record